We are proud to announce Earthquake Data Services in Contrail. With this service, system administrators can monitor their critical infrastructure points for seismic activity that might increase the risk or reduce operational efficiency of their systems. These critical points can really be anything, including dams, flood control structures, energy grid points, mines, bridges, or any sort of other infrastructure point that you wanted to monitoring for. This data is provided by the USGS Global Seismic Network that monitors and processes seismic activity from around the globe and is brought right into Contrail. Let's go ahead and take a look. As you can see, we have a dedicated system that brings in this data from the USGS Global Seismic Network, and we define a radius around each infrastructure point where we want to see that data and collect it and store it. And then it's brought in just like any other site and sensor within Contrail. So we can look at things like distance and magnitude of each seismic activity. It obviously gets recorded with a date and time, but we also get ancillary information such as bearing and depth and magnitude and magnitude type. So we can get all of the applicable and actionable information that we require from the seismic activity. And we can look at things in real time. So we have some new widgets and visualization right on the dashboard so we can look at this seismic activity. First up is a new widget here that shows all of the recent activity for this particular infrastructure point. And in this case, we're looking at a Weber Dam located in Nevada. And we can see on the left-hand side, we have the magnitude with a proportionate circle and coloring for intense activity. We have a nice geographic description so you can understand exactly where this occurred relative to real life points instead of just a latitude and longitude. And we also get a time, so we can see the exact, down to the exact second of when this occurred. If this is a major event or we're monitoring something in a critical state, we can jump right to the USGS website and get all of the applicable information about this activity. And get down and drill to the exact information that's needed. We also have a map here just so you can get a sense of maybe the layout of your infrastructure point. We'll come back to the no inspection required, but we're able to visualize our alarms if we have any alarms tied to this point, or if we want to visualize the distance and magnitude of the most recent data point, which looks like it occurred about 44 minutes ago. Down at the bottom, we have, in this case, filtered, we have a simple table that shows all of the earthquakes within 300 miles that occurred, starting with the most recent data point. You can quickly see what the depth, distance, and magnitude is of all the activity. And on the right-hand side, we have a table that shows the magnitude-distance relationship for this particular dam, this Weber Dam, that shows the both magnitude and distance of what's important and what the peak horizontal ground acceleration is for them to trigger an inspection. We can take this two-dimensional rating table and actually upload it within Contrail. So we can see we have a equation that looks at both magnitude and distance, and we've uploaded that two-dimensional rating table right within the sensor. So we're able to do really cool things like know whether an inspection is required based on that relationship between magnitude and distance. This also gets stored as a sensor, so we can see if there's ever been any activity that has required an inspection. We can go back and look at the exact date and time of when that event occurred, and to help you filter out all of this activity to know the exact usage case. But this can really be anything. If we need to change the usage or metrics of an infrastructure point, or maybe close a bridge, or do any sort of operational procedure, we can automate that right within Contrail and to filter out all the information we don't need to give you just the most important and actionable information within that. Finally, if you have a series of infrastructure points that you're monitoring, which is often the case, you can add in these critical points with the earthquake data services across all of your points that you want to monitor and be known of. In this case, we're looking at just just Weber Dam here located, but you can imagine a full network of these sites located, co-located with all of your systems virtually. And we could see we have the same no inspection required, but if you're looking at a fleet of points, you're able to or an inventory of points, you're able to filter out and see which points do you have to be made aware of and maybe go out and trigger an inspection or visual inspection, or close roads or mines or whatever the implications might be. We can also pull in all of the seismic activity in a spatial data set. So all of these individual circles here, gray circles, are relatively minor seismic activity, but we can turn on the measurement tool here and see if you're wanting to look at what the distance is in a more graphical or spatial view. You can do that right within the map here defined. We can also, if you're operating or looking at your infrastructure points with a hydrologic or meteorological view, we can obviously display all the other important atmospheric and hydrologic variables that might be important for you. So in case there was something that needs to trigger an inspection, you can see what the water level, in this case at Weber Dam, is, and whether you need to trigger evacuations downstream based on a changing infrastructure. This concludes our overview of earthquake data services in Contrail. We're really proud of the work that we're doing here, and if you're interested, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.